Commander Jake Morrison floated in the observation deck of the new space station high above Earth. He had been waiting for this day his whole life. Today, humans would meet aliens for the first time. His hands shook slightly as he watched the strange ships approach through the thick glass windows. The alien ships looked nothing like the ones in movies. They were long and thin, almost like needles made of silver metal. They moved in perfect formation, 12 ships total, getting closer to the human station every minute. Jake pressed the button on his radio. "Control, this is Morrison. The visitors are almost here. All teams ready?" "Copy that, Commander. Dr. Grant is in position. Captain Webb has security standing by. Everything looks good from down here." Jake nodded and pushed off from the window, floating toward the main meeting room. In zero gravity, everything felt strange, but he had trained for months to move properly. The aliens had asked to meet in space first, not on Earth's surface. They said they wanted to make sure humans were peaceful before visiting the planet. Dr. Lisa Grant was already in the meeting room, checking her equipment one more time. She was the smartest person Jake had ever met, and she would be the one to study these aliens. Her face showed excitement and worry at the same time. "How do I look?" she asked Jake with a nervous smile. "Like someone about to make history," Jake replied. The first alien ship docked with their station with a soft bump. Jake could hear the airlock systems working to connect the two ships together. His heart beat faster as he waited. After a few minutes, the inner door opened with a hiss. The alien that stepped through was incredible to see. It stood nearly 8 feet tall but looked like it might break if someone touched it too hard. Its arms and legs were very long and thin, almost like a spider's. Its skin was pale blue and seemed to glow slightly under the station's lights. The alien's head was large with big black eyes that reflected the light. "Greetings, humans," the alien said through a small device attached to its chest. The voice sounded strange, like it was coming from underwater. "I am Ambassador Vex of the Zelthan people. We come in peace to learn about your species." Jake stepped forward and tried to look calm. "Welcome, Ambassador Vex. I am Commander Jake Morrison. This is Dr. Lisa Grant, our science leader. We are honored to meet you." The alien moved very slowly and carefully as it entered the room. 2 more aliens followed behind, both carrying strange tools and devices. Dr. Grant watched everything with wide eyes, taking notes on her tablet. "Your station is very solid," Ambassador Vex said, touching one of the metal walls. "Everything here seems so heavy and thick. Is this normal for human construction?" "Yes," Jake replied. "We build things to last. This station needs to be strong to protect us from space." The aliens looked at each other and made soft clicking sounds. Dr. Grant stepped closer to her scanner and pointed it at the aliens. The readings made her frown. "Ambassador, if you don't mind me asking, what is the gravity like on your home world?" she asked. "Gravity?" The alien seemed confused by the question. "Our world has very light gravity, much lighter than what we feel here. Even in your station, we feel heavy. Is your planet's surface even heavier than this place?" Jake and Dr. Grant exchanged looks. Earth's gravity was much stronger than the space station's artificial gravity. "Our planet has stronger gravity, yes," Jake said carefully. "Is that a problem?" No problem," Ambassador Vex said quickly. "We are just curious about how humans can live in such heavy conditions. You must be very strong." Over the next few hours, the humans and aliens shared information about their worlds and cultures. The Zelthans showed pictures of their home planet, which had tall, thin cities that looked like they would fall over on Earth. Everything in their world seemed delicate and light. Dr. Grant noticed that the aliens moved very carefully, like they were afraid of breaking something. When one alien tried to pick up a simple water bottle, it struggled with the weight. The bottle was not heavy at all for a human. "Your bodies seem adapted for low gravity," Dr. Grant observed. "Have you visited worlds with heavier gravity before?" "We prefer to avoid heavy worlds," Ambassador Vex replied. "They are difficult for our people, but we have heard much about human intelligence and wanted to meet you." Captain Ryan Webb watched everything from the security station. His job was to keep everyone safe during the first meeting. The alien ship stayed in formation around the human station and their sensors were very active. Webb did not like how much scanning the aliens were doing. "Dr. Grant," he said over the radio, Are you seeing those scan readings? They're mapping everything in detail. Dr. Grant checked her instruments and saw what Webb meant. The alien ships were not just looking at the station. They were scanning Earth itself, focusing on the planet's gravity fields and magnetic readings. Ambassador, Jake said, your ships seem to be scanning our planet very thoroughly. Is there a reason for this? The alien paused before answering. We like to understand the places we visit. Your world is very interesting to us, so heavy and dense. We have never seen anything like it. After 6 hours of meetings, the aliens said they wanted to rest and return to their ships. They asked if they could visit Earth's surface the next day to see human cities and learn more about the planet. We would be honored to show you our world, Jake said. But as the aliens left, Dr. Grant pulled Jake aside. Something's not right, she whispered. Their biology doesn't make sense for visiting Earth. The gravity would be too much for them. And why are they scanning our gravitational field so precisely? Jake nodded. He had been thinking the same thing. Through the window, he could see the alien ships moving into new positions around Earth. They formed a perfect circle around the planet, each ship exactly the same distance from the surface. Captain Webb, Jake called on his radio. Keep monitoring. Those ships, I want to know if they do anything unusual. Already on it, Commander, and sir. I'm picking up some strange communications between their ships. It's encrypted, but the traffic pattern suggests they're coordinating something big. That night, Jake could not sleep. Something about the aliens' behavior worried him. They seemed too interested in Earth's gravity and not interested enough in human culture. When he looked out the window at their ships, they looked less like peaceful visitors and more like a fleet preparing for something. The next morning brought terrible news. Captain Webb woke Jake with urgent radio calls. Commander, you need to see this. We intercepted some of their communications. The translation isn't perfect, but it's clear enough. They're not here for peaceful contact. Jake rushed to the communication center where Webb showed him the translated messages on a computer screen. The words made his blood run cold. Cleanse the heavy world. Remake it suitable for our people. The dense inhabitants will not survive the process. The aliens had not come in peace. They had come to take Earth and eliminate humanity, and they thought Earth's gravity would make it easy. 3 days passed after the discovery of the alien messages. Admiral Tony Clark sat in the command center of the orbital station, watching dozens of screens showing Earth's defenses. Every military base on the planet was on high alert. The alien ships had not moved from their positions, but everyone knew an attack was coming. Sir, we're getting massive energy readings from all 12 alien ships, reported Lieutenant Sarah Davis from her station. They're powering up something big. Admiral Clark picked up his radio. All Earth defense units, this is command. Invasion is imminent. Repeat, invasion is imminent. All units to battle stations. On the surface of Earth, General Kate Sullivan stood in the Pentagon's war room, coordinating the planet's defenses. She had never faced an enemy from space before, but she was ready. Thousands of soldiers, tanks, and aircraft waited for orders around the world. General, radar is picking up launch signatures from the alien fleet, called Major Kelly Wright from the communications desk. Looks like hundreds of small objects heading for Earth. Through the large windows of the space station, Admiral Clark watched the alien invasion begin. Small silver pods shot out from each alien ship like bullets from a gun. They fell toward Earth in perfect formation, leaving bright trails in the sky. How many pods are we looking at? Clark asked. At least 2,000, sir. They're targeting major cities worldwide. New York, London, Tokyo, Los Angeles, every major population center. The first pods hit Earth's atmosphere and began to slow down. But something was wrong. Many of them were moving too fast and crashing into the ground like meteors. Others seemed to be struggling to control their descent. Lieutenant Colonel Matt Johnson watched from his position in Colorado as the first alien pods landed in the mountains nearby. He commanded a battalion of the best soldiers in the army, and they were ready to fight. But what he saw through his binoculars surprised him. This is Johnson to command. The aliens are landing, but something's not right. Their pods are crash landing everywhere. Many of them aren't even opening. Copy that, Johnson. What's your assessment? Matt watched as one alien pod finally opened after several minutes. The creatures that came out moved like they were underwater. Every step looked difficult and painful. They carried strange weapons and wore metal suits that glowed with blue light. Command, the aliens can barely walk. They're moving like they weigh 5 times what they should, and those glowing suits look like they're working very hard to keep them upright. The aliens fired their weapons at Matt's position, but the shots fell short. Their aim was terrible, and they could not hold their weapons steady. Matt realized what was happening. All units, this is Johnson. The aliens can't handle Earth's gravity. Their technology is keeping them mobile, but just barely. We have a major advantage here. General Sullivan heard the report and felt hope for the first time in days. All ground commanders, you heard Johnson. The enemy is struggling with our gravity. Press the advantage, attack while they're vulnerable. Dr. Ben Adams, a physics professor who had been called in to help the military, studied the readings from the alien technology. He worked in a lab beneath the Pentagon trying to understand how the alien gravity suits worked. General Sullivan, I think I understand their problem, he said over the radio. Their anti-gravity devices use enormous amounts of power. Each suit can only work for a few hours before the battery dies. After that, they'll be completely helpless. How can we use this information? If we can damage their power sources or wait them out, they'll collapse under their own weight, literally. Back in Colorado, Matt Johnson organized his first attack on the alien landing site. His soldiers moved carefully through the forest, approaching the crashed pods. What they found was not the fearsome alien army everyone had expected. 3 aliens struggled to move a piece of equipment that weighed maybe 50 pounds. Their gravity suits sparked and made grinding noises. One alien fell down and could not get back up without help from the others. This is almost too easy, whispered Sergeant Kyle Martinez, one of Matt's best soldiers. They look like they're drowning in our air. Matt gave the signal to attack. His soldiers opened fire from the trees. The aliens tried to return fire, but they could not aim properly. Their movements were too slow and clumsy. Within minutes, the entire alien landing party was either dead or had surrendered. Command, this is Johnson. First engagement complete. Enemy neutralized with 0 casualties on our side. These aliens are sitting ducks in Earth gravity. Similar reports came in from around the world. In New York, Captain Eric Thompson led a police response team against aliens who had landed in Central Park. The creatures could barely climb the steps of the museum they were trying to attack. In London, Major Steve Parker watched alien soldiers struggle to cross a simple street. Their anti-gravity suits kept failing, and several aliens were crushed by their own equipment when the power died. But the aliens had not given up. From their ships in orbit, they began dropping larger devices toward Earth's major cities. These were not troop carriers, but massive machines designed to change the local gravity. Sir, we've got new contacts, reported Lieutenant Davis. Big ones this time. They're heading for population centers. The first gravity nullifier landed in downtown Los Angeles. It was the size of a small building and immediately began to glow with the same blue light as the alien suits. Within a few minutes, everything within 2 miles of the device began to float. Cars lifted off the ground. People found themselves able to jump incredible distances. The few aliens in the area suddenly became much more dangerous as they could move normally in the reduced gravity field. This is bad, General Sullivan said as she watched the reports from Los Angeles. If they can create these low-gravity zones, they can establish bases and bring in more troops. Admiral Clark watched from space as more gravity nullifiers fell toward Earth. But he noticed something important. General, look at the power readings from that device in Los Angeles. It's using incredible amounts of energy. Dr. Adams, how long? Can they keep those things running? Dr. Adams checked his calculations. Based on the energy output, maybe 6 hours maximum. After that, they'll need to recharge, or the device will burn out. Then we hit them during the recharge cycle, General, Sullivan decided. All units near gravity nullifiers prepare for coordinated strikes. We'll let their own technology work against them. In Los Angeles, Colonel Dan Hughes led a mixed force of Army and Air Force units to attack the gravity nullifier. They waited and watched as the device's glow began to fade after 5 hours of operation. Remember, once that thing shuts down, every alien in the area will be helpless again, Hughes told his men. We go in fast and hard the moment it goes dark. The gravity nullifier shut down with a loud hum. Immediately, everything in the area crashed back to the ground. Cars fell from the sky. The aliens who had been moving freely suddenly found themselves crushed by Earth's gravity again. Hughes's forces attacked before the aliens could restart their device. They destroyed the gravity nullifier with explosive charges and eliminated every alien in the area. The battle for Los Angeles was over in less than 10 minutes. Around the world, similar attacks succeeded. The aliens' technology was impressive, but it had fatal weaknesses. Earth's gravity was too strong for them to handle for long periods. Their invasion was failing because they had underestimated the very thing that made Earth uninhabitable for them. Sir, alien communications are getting frantic, reported Lieutenant Davis. It sounds like they're asking their ships for emergency evacuation. Admiral Clark smiled grimly. Looks like they bit off more than they could chew. Earth's gravity is doing our fighting for us. 2 weeks had passed since the alien invasion began. The initial panic was over, and humanity had learned how to fight these strange enemies. Marine Colonel Steve Parker stood on a hill overlooking Denver, watching his soldiers practice new battle tactics designed specifically for fighting gravity-challenged aliens. Remember, these enemies move like they're walking through thick mud, he told his troops. They can't run, they can't jump, and they can't react quickly. Use that against them. Stay mobile, hit fast, and get out before they can target you properly. The soldiers nodded and spread out across the training field. They had been fighting aliens for weeks now, and everyone had learned the same lessons. Earth's gravity was the best weapon humanity had ever possessed. Air Force Major Kelly Wright flew her fighter jet over the Rocky Mountains, hunting for alien supply drops. The aliens kept trying to establish permanent bases in high places where the gravity was slightly weaker, but human forces found and destroyed them every time. Control, this is right. I've got visual on another alien outpost on Mount Evans. Looks like they're trying to set up another gravity nullifier. Copy that, Wright. You are cleared to engage. Make it quick before they get that thing online. Kelly swooped down and fired missiles at the alien installation. The creatures scattered, like insects moving too slowly to reach cover in time. Their anti-gravity suits sparked and failed as the explosions shook the mountainside. Within seconds, the entire outpost was destroyed. Target eliminated. Control. These aliens really don't learn, do they? Commander Eric Thompson coordinated attacks from the Orbital Command Center. He had access to satellites that could track alien movements across the entire planet. What he saw made him confident that humanity was winning. General Sullivan, the aliens are retreating to higher altitudes, everywhere. They're abandoning the cities and trying to establish bases above 8,000 feet elevation. General Sullivan studied the tactical displays in her war room. Makes sense. The gravity is about 15% weaker up there, but they're also running out of places to hide. Yes, ma'am, and our mountain warfare units are already moving to intercept them. Colonel Parker's Marines are leading the assault on their Colorado positions. Dr. Rachel Moore worked in a laboratory in Washington, D.C., studying captured alien technology and biology. She had learned incredible things about these invaders over the past 2 weeks. Her discoveries would change how humanity fought this war. The aliens come from a world with only 30% of Earth's gravity, she explained to General Sullivan over a video call. Their bones are hollow like bird bones. Their muscles are designed for very light work. Coming to Earth is like asking a human to fight while carrying 3 times their body weight. What about their anti-gravity technology? Can we counter it? Their suits work, but they're terribly inefficient. Each suit uses as much power as a small house just to keep one alien mobile for a few hours. They're burning through their energy supplies faster than they can replace them. This information gave General Sullivan an idea. If they're running out of power, we should attack their supply lines, cut off their energy sources, and let Earth's gravity do the rest. Lieutenant Sam Brooks had been working undercover for weeks, studying alien crash sites and recovering their technology. He was one of the few people who understood how their gravity systems worked. His discoveries were about to change everything. "Dr. Moore, I've found something interesting in the latest wreckage," he reported from a crash site in Nevada. "Their anti-gravity generators don't just make things lighter. They can be reversed to make things heavier too." Dr. Moore leaned forward with excitement. "Are you saying we could use their own technology against them?" "Exactly. If we can modify these devices, we could create zones of increased gravity. Instead of making things float, we could make them incredibly heavy." Engineer Corps Colonel Dan Hughes took Sam's discovery and ran with it. In a secret facility in New Mexico, his team worked around the clock to reverse engineer the alien gravity technology. They were not trying to make things lighter like the aliens did. They wanted to make things much, much heavier. "The math works," Hughes told his team of engineers. "If we can boost the local gravity by just 50%, any alien in the area will be completely immobilized. At double gravity, their bones would probably break from their own weight." Dr. Amy Foster led the scientific team helping Hughes. She was brilliant with electromagnetic systems and had figured out how to modify the alien devices. "We can build portable units," she explained, "small enough for soldiers to carry, powerful enough to affect an area the size of a football field. We could turn any battlefield into a gravity trap." The first test of the human-made gravity amplifier took place in the New Mexico desert. Colonel Hughes and Dr. Foster watched from a safe distance as they activated the device. A circular area about 200 yards across suddenly became a zone of crushing gravitational force. They had placed several objects in the test area, including a car, some concrete blocks, and unfortunately, a few captured aliens in protective suits. When the gravity amplifier turned on, everything in the zone was immediately crushed flat against the ground. "It works," Dr. Foster said with satisfaction. "The aliens in there aren't dead, but they can't move at all. They're completely helpless." "How long can we keep it running?" Hughes asked. "Unlike their anti-gravity technology, our gravity amplifiers are much more efficient. We can run one for days on a single battery pack." News of the successful test spread quickly through the military command structure. Within hours, General Sullivan was ordering mass production of the gravity weapons. "I want these devices distributed to every frontline unit within the week," she commanded. "It's time to stop playing defense and start taking the fight to these invaders." Colonel Parker received the first batch of portable gravity amplifiers for field testing. His Marines practiced with the devices in Colorado, learning how to use them tactically against alien forces. "Set up overlapping fields," he instructed his troops. "If the aliens try to retreat from one gravity zone, they should run right into another one. We want to create inescapable traps." The first combat use of human gravity weapons happened 3 days later. A large group of aliens had established a base in the mountains of Montana, using a powerful gravity nullifier to create a low-gravity safe zone. Colonel Parker's Marines surrounded the area with their new weapons. "All units activate gravity amplifiers on my mark," Parker commanded. 3, 2, 1, mark. 20 gravity amplifiers turned on simultaneously around the alien base. The overlapping fields created a gradient of crushing gravitational force that got stronger toward the center. The alien's gravity nullifier tried to compensate, but it was designed to fight normal Earth gravity, not the amplified fields the humans had created. Within minutes, every alien in the base was pinned to the ground, unable to move. Their anti-gravity suits overloaded and shut down. Some of the aliens were injured by the intense gravitational pressure, but most simply lay helpless on the ground. "Base secured without firing a shot," Parker reported. "The gravity weapons work better than we hoped. These aliens are completely helpless against them." Major Wright flew overhead and watched the successful operation. "Control, this is Wright. The alien base is neutralized. I count over 50 enemy soldiers captured, all alive but immobilized. Their equipment is intact for study." The success in Montana was repeated across the globe. Human forces equipped with gravity amplifiers attacked alien positions with devastating effectiveness. The invaders had no defense against their own technology being used against them. Commander Thompson watched the global tactical situation from orbit. "General Sullivan, the aliens are in full retreat. They're abandoning positions everywhere and trying to get back to their ships." "Let them run," Sullivan replied. but make sure they understand that Earth belongs to humanity. Any alien that sets foot on our planet again will face the same fate. The tide of war had completely turned. In just 2 weeks, humanity had gone from defending against invasion to launching devastating counterattacks using the aliens' own technology. Earth's gravity, combined with human ingenuity, had proven to be an unbeatable combination. The aliens had made a fatal mistake. They had assumed that superior technology would overcome any natural disadvantage. Instead, they had learned that sometimes the simplest forces in nature are the most powerful of all. 1 month after the invasion began, the war looked completely different. Admiral Tony Clark stood in the command center watching Earth's forces hunt down the last alien strongholds. The hunters had become the hunted, and humanity was winning decisively. "Sir, we have reports from all continents," Lieutenant Sarah Davis announced. "Alien resistance is collapsing everywhere. They're trying to evacuate to their ships, but our gravity weapons are stopping most of them." Clark nodded with satisfaction. "What's the status of their main base in Tibet?" "Colonel Parker's forces have it surrounded. The aliens set up their biggest gravity nullifier there, but we have them trapped." High in the mountains of Tibet, Colonel Steve Parker looked through his binoculars at the alien stronghold. It sat in a valley surrounded by peaks, protected by the most powerful gravity nullifier the aliens had ever deployed. Inside the zone, everything was light as a feather. The aliens could move normally, and they had brought in heavy equipment and weapons. "This is their last major base on Earth," Parker told his officers. "They've got maybe 300 aliens in there, plus their best technology. Taking this place will end their ground operations completely." Sergeant Kyle Martinez studied the tactical situation. "Sir, that gravity nullifier is huge. It's creating a low-gravity zone for miles in every direction. If we go in there, we'll be floating around like balloons while they can fight normally. That's why we're not going in," Parker replied with a smile. "We're going to bring the mountain to them." Parker's plan was brilliant in its simplicity. Instead of trying to fight inside the alien gravity field, his forces would surround it completely with human gravity amplifiers. The two technologies would fight each other, and humanity's version was much more efficient and powerful. "Position the gravity amplifiers in a complete circle around their base," Parker ordered. "Set them to maximum power. We're going to crush their nullifier with pure gravitational force." Dr. Amy Foster worked with the technical teams to coordinate the gravity weapons. She had spent weeks perfecting the amplifier technology, and now it was time for the ultimate test. "Colonel, we have 40 gravity amplifiers positioned around the target area," she reported. "When we activate them all at once, the combined gravitational field will be incredible. Even their biggest nullifier won't be able to compensate." "What will happen to the aliens inside?" Parker asked. "They'll experience increasing gravity as their nullifier fails. It will start light and get heavier gradually until they can't move at all. Much more humane than crushing them instantly." Major Kelly Wright circled overhead in her fighter jet, coordinating with satellite surveillance. "Colonel, I can see the aliens inside their base. They know something's wrong. Their equipment is showing warning signals and they're trying to evacuate." "Too late for that," Parker replied. "All units prepare to activate gravity amplifiers. This is our final move in this chess game." Commander Eric Thompson monitored the operation from orbit, watching through multiple satellites and sensors. The alien ships in space were also watching, sending frantic messages to their ground forces. "The alien fleet is powering up their engines," Thompson reported to Admiral Clark. "Looks like they're preparing to leave Earth orbit. They know this is the end. Let them go," Clark replied, "as long as they take their remaining forces with them and never come back." Down in Tibet, Colonel Parker gave the final order. "All gravity amplifier teams activate on my mark. 3, 2, 1, execute." 40 gravity amplifiers turned on simultaneously around the alien base. The effect was immediate and dramatic. The alien gravity nullifier, which had been creating a zone of light gravity, suddenly found itself fighting against massive gravitational forces from all directions. Dr. Foster watched her instruments as the two technologies battled each other. The nullifier is trying to compensate, but it's overloading. Power consumption is off the charts. It can't maintain the low-gravity field against our amplifiers. Inside the alien base, panic spread as the gravity began to change. The aliens felt themselves getting heavier by the minute as their nullifier struggled and failed. Equipment that had been floating in the air crashed to the ground. Aliens who had been moving normally found themselves slowing down and struggling to walk. Nullifier. Power failing, Dr. Foster announced. Gravity in the target area is now at Earth normal and rising. The aliens tried desperately to escape their base, but it was too late. As the gravity increased beyond Earth normal, they found themselves unable to run or even walk quickly. Their anti-gravity suits overloaded, trying to compensate for the crushing gravitational field. Target area is now at 1.5 times Earth gravity, Foster reported. The aliens are completely immobilized. Parker watched through his binoculars as the alien base fell silent. Nothing moved inside the valley except for the wind. All teams advanced to secure the base. Watch for any remaining active technology. The assault team moved carefully into the valley, their own equipment designed to handle the increased gravity. What they found was 300 aliens lying helplessly on the ground, alive but unable to move under the crushing gravitational force. Base secured, reported Sergeant Martinez. All aliens captured alive. We've got a treasure trove of their technology here, including their command computers and communication equipment. Dr. Rachel Moore arrived with a science team to study the captured technology. What she found exceeded all expectations. Colonel, this equipment contains detailed maps of their home star system, lists of other worlds they've invaded, and most importantly, the locations of their main fleet bases. This intelligence is invaluable. The victory in Tibet marked the end of alien resistance on Earth. Within hours, reports came in from around the world confirming that all remaining alien forces had either been captured or had retreated to their ships. Commander, Thompson tracked the alien fleet as it began leaving Earth orbit. Admiral, all 12 alien ships are departing. They're heading back toward deep space at maximum speed. Good riddance, Admiral Clark replied. But keep monitoring them until they're completely out of our solar system. General Kate Sullivan called a meeting of all senior commanders to assess the situation. Ladies and gentlemen, the invasion is over. Earth is secure. But we need to discuss what comes next. The room fell quiet as everyone considered the implications. Humanity had defeated an alien invasion, but they had also learned that Earth was not alone in the universe. There were other worlds, other species, and possibly other threats. We captured enough alien technology to advance our science by decades, Dr. Moore reported. Their gravity manipulation systems, their space travel technology, their weapons, and communications equipment, we can learn from all of it. More importantly, added Dr. Foster, we've learned how to weaponize gravity itself. That knowledge makes Earth much more defensible against future threats. Colonel Parker stood up to address the group. We've proven that superior technology doesn't always win wars. The aliens had better ships, better weapons, and better equipment. But they made one critical mistake. They tried to invade a world where they couldn't survive naturally. Earth's gravity saved us, General Sullivan agreed. But it was human ingenuity that turned our natural advantage into a decisive weapon. We didn't just defend our world, we turned the tables completely. Admiral Clark looked out at the blue planet below. The aliens underestimated us because they saw our heavy gravity as a limitation. They thought we were trapped on a harsh world. Instead, we showed them that our harsh world made us stronger. The war was over, but its effects would last forever. Humanity had faced its first test against an alien species and passed with flying colors. More importantly, they had gained technology and knowledge that would help them reach for the stars. We're no longer alone in the universe, Dr. Moore said. But we've proven that we belong here. Earth is our fortress and gravity is our shield. The failed invasion had taught humanity an important lesson. Sometimes the greatest weaknesses can become the greatest strengths. The aliens had seen Earth's heavy gravity as a problem to overcome. Humans had learned to see it as a weapon to wield. 6 weeks after the first alien ships appeared in Earth's sky, Commander Jake Morrison stood once again in the observation deck of the orbital station. This time, he was not waiting to meet mysterious visitors. He was watching the formal surrender of the Zelthan invasion force. The alien fleet had returned to Earth orbit, but not to fight. They came back flying white flags and sending messages of surrender on all frequencies. Their invasion had failed completely, and now they begged for mercy. Admiral Tony Clark sat across from Ambassador Vex in the same room where first contact had occurred. The alien looked even more fragile than before. His anti-gravity suit was damaged and he moved with obvious pain and difficulty. "We surrender all claims to your world," Ambassador Vex said through his translation device. His voice sounded defeated and tired. "We ask only that you allow our surviving people to return to space. We cannot live on your heavy world." "Your people will be allowed to leave," Admiral Clark replied. "But first, we need to understand why you attacked us. We offered you friendship, and you tried to destroy us." Ambassador Vex lowered his large head in shame. "Our home star is dying. Our worlds are becoming cold and lifeless. We searched the galaxy for new homes, but every world we found was either empty or too dangerous. When we discovered Earth, we saw a rich world with intelligent life, but your gravity made it impossible for us to share it with you." Dr. Lisa Grant sat nearby, listening to the alien's explanation. She had spent weeks studying captured Zelthan prisoners, learning about their biology and culture. What she discovered had changed her understanding of the invasion. "They're not evil," she had told the military commanders. "They're desperate. Their entire species is facing extinction. They attacked us because they thought it was their only chance to survive." Admiral Clark considered the alien's words carefully. "You tried to commit genocide because our world was too heavy for you to live on normally. That doesn't excuse what you did, but it helps us understand why you did it." "We know what we did was wrong," Ambassador Vex replied. "We thought your people were weak because you lived in such heavy gravity. We believed we could easily defeat you and remake your world for our needs. We were foolish and arrogant." Commander Eric Thompson had been monitoring alien communications during the surrender negotiations. "Admiral, they're telling the truth about their dying star system. Our deep space sensors confirm it. Their sun is cooling rapidly. They probably have less than 50 years before their worlds become uninhabitable." This information changed everything. Admiral Clark realized that humanity faced a choice. They could send the aliens away to die with their dying star, or they could find another solution. "Dr. Grant, is there any way the Zelthans could survive in our solar system without taking Earth?" Dr. Grant had been thinking about this question for days. "Actually, yes. Their biology is perfect for low-gravity environments. Our moon Mars and many asteroids have gravity levels they could handle easily. They could build colonies on worlds that are useless to humans." Admiral Clark turned back to Ambassador Vex. "What if we offered you a different solution? What if you could live in our solar system without taking our world?" The alien's large eyes widened with surprise. "You would allow this? After we tried to destroy you?" "We would consider it, but there would be conditions. No weapons, no military ships, and you would help us understand your technology. In exchange, we would help you establish colonies on low-gravity worlds where you could survive." Dr. Rachel Moore had been studying alien technology since the invasion began. Her team had made incredible discoveries that could benefit all of humanity. "General Sullivan, the Zelthan gravity technology is just the beginning," she reported from her laboratory. "Their space travel systems are centuries ahead of ours. Their medical technology could cure diseases we've never been able to treat. If we can learn from them, humanity could reach the stars within decades instead of centuries." General Kate Sullivan saw the bigger picture. "So we gain allies instead of enemies, and we get access to advanced technology. It seems like a fair trade, as long as we can trust them." The negotiations continued for several days. Captain Ryan Webb led the security discussions, establishing protocols to ensure the aliens could never again threaten Earth. Colonel Steve Parker worked out military arrangements, including the destruction of all Zelthan weapons and the monitoring of their colonies. Dr. Amy Foster and Engineer Colonel Dan Hughes focused on the technology exchange. The aliens would share their scientific knowledge, while humans would provide raw materials and construction assistance for their new colonies. We've learned how to modify their anti-gravity systems for our own use, Dr. Foster explained to the negotiating team. With their help, we could build spaceships that can travel between planets in days instead of months. We could establish our own colonies throughout the solar system. The final agreement was signed in the same room where the war had begun. Ambassador Vex spoke for his people with genuine gratitude. You have shown us mercy we did not deserve. We came as conquerors and you are treating us as refugees. We will never forget this kindness. We all make mistakes, Admiral Clark replied. What matters is what we learn from them. Your people will have a new home, and our species will explore the galaxy together. Sergeant Kyle Martinez watched the first Zelthan colony ship depart for the asteroid belt. The aliens had chosen a large asteroid with very low gravity where they could build their new home. Human construction teams would help them establish their first settlements. It's strange, he said to his fellow soldiers. A month ago we were fighting these aliens. Now we're helping them build cities. Major Kelly Wright flew escort missions for the alien colony ships, protecting them from space debris and ensuring their safe arrival at their new homes. They're not our enemies anymore, she said over the radio. They're our neighbors. The transformation of the Zelthans from invaders to allies happened quickly. Their desperation had made them attack Earth, but their gratitude made them valuable partners. They shared freely all their scientific knowledge, helping humanity advance rapidly in space technology. Dr. Ben Adams stood before the United Nations General Assembly 6 months after the invasion ended. He had been chosen to explain to the world what humanity had learned from the experience. The Zelthan invasion taught us several important lessons, he began. First, we are not alone in the universe. Second, our world's heavy gravity, which we sometimes see as a limitation, is actually our greatest natural defense. Third, what appears to be a weakness can become a strength if we learn how to use it properly. He paused and looked out at the representatives from every nation on Earth. But the most important lesson is this. Sometimes our greatest enemies can become our most valuable allies. The Zelthans tried to destroy us because they were afraid they would die. When we offered them hope instead of destruction, they chose to live in peace. The audience applauded as Dr. Adams continued his speech. Today, human ships equipped with Zelthan gravity technology are exploring the outer planets. Zelthan colonies are thriving on asteroids and moons throughout our solar system. Our former enemies have become our guides to the galaxy. Commander Jake Morrison, now promoted to admiral, stood on the bridge of humanity's first interstellar exploration ship. The vessel used a combination of human engineering and Zelthan gravity technology that could travel between star systems in months instead of years. Navigation. Set course for the Alpha Centauri system, he ordered. Let's go. See what else is out there. The ship's Zelthan science officer, working alongside human crew members, confirmed the course. Gravity drive is ready, Admiral. We can depart when you give the order. Jake looked out at the stars and smiled. The alien invasion had ended with humanity stronger, wiser, and ready to take its place among the civilizations of the galaxy. Earth's toy. Heavy gravity had saved them from conquest, but human compassion had won them allies for the journey ahead. Take us to the stars, he commanded. The failed invasion had taught both species that survival was better than conquest, and cooperation was stronger than conflict. Earth remained humanity's fortress, but now it was also the launching point for adventures among the stars.